Safety for the holiday season is the top priority for Volusia County's Sheriff's Office. Hi and welcome to this edition of Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today, Community Information Director Dave Byron will sit down for an in-depth interview with his guest, Sheriff Ben Johnson, for some safety tips to keep you and your loved ones safe for the holidays. Later on in the show, Business Beat correspondent Joanne Magley takes us on a field trip to Kermit's Key West Key Lime Shop, and it's right here in Volusia County. Find out where you can cut your own Florida scrub Christmas tree and how prescribed burns actually help to keep the risk of wildfires down. Those stories, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Woodland fires are a vital part of Florida's ecosystems. For most of Florida's history, Florida was covered in grasslands and timberland. Periodic natural fires maintain the ecosystem, burning off dead foliage, thinning out overcrowded forests, and making room for new growth. As Florida's population exploded in the early 20th century, fire suppression efforts increased. As a result, trees were stressed by overcrowding. Fire-dependent species began to disappear, and flammable fuels built up. As Florida's population exploded in the early 20th century, fire suppression efforts increased. As a result, trees were stressed by overcrowding, fire-dependent species began to disappear, and flammable fuels built up. This increased the risk of raging wildfires that can spread rapidly and endanger humans, homes, and wildlife. Today, firefighters know that a fire is a necessary part of the life cycle of forests. Florida started using prescribed burns in the 1970s and now has the most active prescribed burn program in the nation, treating more than 2 million acres with prescribed fires each year.
We burn the underbrush due to the fact that we want to control the vegetation, so we don't want to get it out of control and too heavy. So what if a fire does come through there that's uncontrollable, like a wildland fire, it doesn't spread rapidly, it doesn't cause a lot of mitigation issues with wildland-urban interface, which is a lot of the houses in residential areas that are built near those areas.
Firefighters agree prescribed fire is a safe way to apply a natural process to ensure ecosystem health and protect people and property from wildfires.
They're very controlled, they're very safe due to the fact we go out there and we do pre-planning and we plan weeks and weeks in advance. We go out there and do prep work in reference to setting up control lines. We work with some residents that live in those areas. We get with the traffic people, the FHP, in reference to smoke issues on the roadways. And then we also watch the weather, and we make sure that the weather is in accordance to what we wanted the burn to be done.
One ecosystem that relies on occasional fires is the scrub habitat that can be found at Lyonia Preserve in Deltona and the Doris Leaper Spruce Creek Preserve in the southeast Volusia area. Scrub habitat is characterized by low-growing shrubs and patches of open sand with very few tall trees. It has dry, nutrient-poor soil and is maintained with infrequent, high-intensity burns. Scrub provides a home for the threatened Florida scrub jay, gopher tortoises, and many other animals that are dependent on scrub for survival. The county's Lyonia Preserve in Deltona, again this holiday season, is allowing people to cut their own holiday tree. This is a great way to get a unique tree while helping to maintain habitat for Florida scrub jays and gopher tortoises. Residents can select a sand pine to cut December 13th and 14th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The entrance to Lyonia Preserve is off Providence Boulevard near Deltona Lakes Elementary School, just south of Deltona City Hall. While sand pines are not traditional Christmas trees, they are a popular holiday tree among Floridians. These native trees have been likened to the Charlie Brown Christmas tree because they're sparse and they're sometimes lopsided. They average 4 to 5 feet tall, but they can grow up to 20 feet. 2 or 3 of these tied together can make a fuller tree, and many people decorate them and leave them outside for wildlife.
Well, this particular property, Lyonia Preserve, is being managed for scrub jays. And scrub jays don't like areas with a lot of tall trees. And these sand pines will get very, very tall in a very short period of time. and that's when the scrub jays will leave the site. So that's why we're targeting the sand pines. And people can come out here, bring their own saws or hatchets or chainsaws. We recommend that you're skilled with those tools, but you can come out and cut one of these sand pines. So this one's too big for, obviously, for Christmas tree, but you can oftentimes take just the top. It's usually sometimes nice and bushy.
Lyonia Preserve is adjacent to the Deltona Regional Library. The 360-acre scrub habitat has 3 nature trails and is home to dozens of threatened Florida scrub jays, gopher tortoises, and other native wildlife. Donations are requested and proceeds will be used by the Friends of the Library to purchase Florida habitat books for the Deltona Regional Library. Passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport has decreased 8% during October in comparison with October of last year. During October, 47,075 incoming and outgoing passengers traveled through the county-operated airport. This compares with the 50,930 passengers in October of 2013. For the past 12 months, 628,240 travelers have flown in or out of the airport, and that's a 4% increase when compared to the previous 12 months. The airport's passenger traffic decline in October was the second monthly decline in 2014, and it can be attributed to fewer seats offered by Delta Airlines. That's the airport's primary air carrier, combined with some increase in seats offered by U.S. Airways. Passenger loads for both air carriers reached 95% during October. That's an increase of 1% from last October.
Well, the October numbers we went down. It was actually the second time this year we've had a drop in traffic, and basically it was driven by the fact that our primary air carrier, Delta Airlines, transferred some of the larger aircraft to other markets. But that pretty much goes away in November and January, February, those months. So we think it's going to be pretty much back to normal this month and also in 2015.
Airport officials are continuing to seek ways to expand air service opportunities for the benefit of the region. And to find out more information about flying in or out of Daytona, you can visit flydaytonafirst.com.
Hi, I'm Deb Denny's with the Volusia County Council, urging you to be a driving force for the arts. If you renew your vehicle registration and request a state-of-the-art specialty plate, $20 of the fee goes directly to support cultural programs right here in Volusia County. In recent years, license plate revenues have been used to restore artwork in the historic courthouse, host numerous public programs and workshops, and market the arts. Putting one of these plates on your vehicle shows your commitment to the arts and lets others know that Florida really is a state of the arts.
Authentic key lime pie, only in Key West, right? Not so, according to reporter Joanne Magley, who brings us the story of a local food manufacturer famous for everything key lime in this week's Business Beat.
Key West, the southernmost city in the continental United States with more than 1 million visitors each year. Many tourists there are familiar with Kermit's Key West Key Lime Shop, which opened in 1994. But what people don't know is that with the exception of the pies, most of the other products in those shops are made here in Volusia County.
Any kind of barbecue sauce, hot sauce, cookies, candy, salsa, jellies and marmalades, honey, key lime honey, just anything that you can think of with key lime in it, or we will try to put key lime in it.
Karen Puglisi is the Sales and Marketing Director for Kermit's, located in the DeLand Business and Industrial Park.
We have, of course, key lime pie. We have our signature, which is key lime pie on a stick, dipped in Belgian chocolate. It's served like a popsicle and it's frozen, and you'll see people walking around the streets in Key West with them. Over 200,000 of them a year.
So how does a company that became famous for key lime pies end up in Volusia County?
As you might know, there's not a lot of manufacturing space in Key West or manufacturing capacity in terms of human resources and things like that. We originally were only in Key West, and as we expanded and ran out of space and ran out of capacity, that's the same time that Kermit's brother-in-law, John Meyer, who's our managing director, was in this area having retired from the Army, and the space came about and everything came together for us to be here. It's much less expensive for us to produce product here. It's also less expensive to ship product from this area than to ship from Key West. And there's a better, more available labor force here who wants to work 40 hours a week and is not always on island time.
This is the kitchen where the key lime products are made. Things like citrus salsa and, of course, the famous key lime pie made right here in DeLand, Florida. And they use as many local ingredients as possible, like tangerines and oranges from Marshall Groves in DeLand.
We are a very small kitchen, smaller than what you might think. We've only got 6 or 7 employees that are back there working every day. We produce very small batches. That way we can control our expenses, but more importantly, we can control our quality. And everything is made in small batches. We don't have a high-tech computer system of inventory of telling us what exactly we need to make when, but our kitchen employees, having been here for so long, really get the rhythm of the business and what moves when and what's a good time to make things. The majority of our product ends up down in Key West in our 2 retail locations. We also have a large internet presence, fueled mostly by people who've been to Key West and want to repeat their vacation experience and have it shipped right to their door. We ship everything, including our pies. Pies are obviously made fresh here daily. They're shipped on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays for Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday delivery. They're shipped overnight on dry ice and arrive at your door or at the recipient's door in exactly the condition that they left here in.
Kermit's also wholesales their products to specialty retailers, high-end gift shops, and gourmet food stores around the country and here in Volusia County. They even have key lime dog treats. $1 from the sale of each bag benefits the ARC in Volusia County. ARC provides opportunity and life skills development to adults with developmental disabilities, and ARC clients apply all the labels on the key lime pie bars. So, what's next for Kermit's Key West Key Lime Shop?
We do not yet have a Kermit's Key Lime beer, but never say never, because that might happen.
For the Business Beat, I'm Joanne Magley.
The death of a baby before his or her first birthday is called infant mortality. The infant mortality rate is an estimate of the number of infant deaths for every 1,000 live births. This rate is often used as an indicator to measure the health and well-being of a nation because factors affecting the health of an entire population can also impact the mortality rate of infants. In this segment of Community Health Matters, Stephanie Strong takes us to a recent news conference where leaders announce good news about the infant mortality rate in Volusia County. It's declining.
A precious gift to be cherished and loved is the gift of a child. Crystal Hansen shares her touching story of losing her daughter Avery to SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
The statistic on pregnancy and infant loss is astonishing. 1 in 4 women will lose their baby before the child reaches their first birthday. I stand before you this morning as one of those women. Today and every day, I face the world as a parent who has lived through the unimaginable. My daughter, Avery Diane Hansen, was born on June 6, 2012 at 2:27 a.m. She was full term, 7 pounds, 15.5 ounces, with a full head of dark hair. She was, by all accounts, a happy and healthy baby.
Crystal recalls loving baby Avery at home for 4 days before noticing one morning something was very wrong.
We called 911, and I performed CPR and prayed that what I felt in my gut wasn't true. Less than an hour later, we were in the emergency room being told that at just 6 days old, Avery was gone. And in an instant, my whole world, my hopes, my dreams, the future I planned, all crumbled.
Volusia County leaders came together to shed some light on the state of infant mortality.
Infant mortality technically is any death that occurs in an infant in the first year of life. And we are pleased today to share with you that we've had a downward trend in infant mortality over the last 20 years. It's at the lowest level it has been in the last 20 years.
At the Healthy Start Coalition here in Volusia and Flagler counties, we convene health experts throughout the year to review cases of infant and fetal loss through our Fetal and Infant Mortality Review Case Review Team. We do this to discover why babies die in our community and what we can do to prevent it. Over 50% of all pregnancies in our two-county service area are to women on Medicaid. Over 60% of all infant deaths occurred in the first 30 days of life. Smoking rates among pregnant women here are over 24%. Smoking is a contributing factor to low birth weight, prematurity, sudden infant death syndrome, and other problems. 50 to 70% of pregnancies in our service area are unplanned or unwanted. The majority of these women have not received routine health care until their pregnancy made them eligible for Medicaid. This means that chronic disease, maternal infection, and other health issues are not identified until a pregnancy is well underway.
Statistically, in 2011, Volusia and Flagler County showed an overall infant mortality of 6.62 cases per 1,000 live births. In 2012, it declined, although we still struggle with some disparity. More Black and Hispanic infants die in their first year of life than white infants. We are making great strides.
I commend my colleagues here for our low infant mortality rates, because despite that fact, we coalesce and we make sure that women get the health care that they need.
For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. Time now to head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, with his guest, Volusia County Sheriff Ben Johnson, for a chat about holiday safety.
Well, thank you, Amber, and happy holidays, everyone. This, of course, is the holiday season, which brings with it lots of shopping and lots of festivities, including parties. Local law enforcement will be very diligent this year in looking for unsavory people who prey on distracted holiday shoppers and motorists who may have had too much to drink. With us in the studio today for some very valuable public safety information is Volusia County Sheriff Ben Johnson. Ben, how you doing today? Happy holidays to you.
Dave, it's good to be here.
Hey, happy holidays, Sheriff. Nice to have you. Hey, obviously during the holiday season, people are really busy. They get distracted. They're out there trying to get their last-minute gifts. They're out on the roads. Do you generally see an increase in crime over the holidays, Sheriff?
We really don't have that much of an increase overall. You do have the theft kind of increases, and a lot of it falls around to, we'll cover two different areas. One is your shopping.
Right.
And the shopping is a big area because you have your predators out there that are looking for people to make mistakes.
Right.
It's like when you go shopping, number one is when you get there, park as close as you can to the entrance of the mall or wherever you are.
Right.
It's best to shop during the daytime if you can.
Right.
Now you can't always do that, and now it's getting dark about 6 o'clock in the evening. But park in a place to where you feel as protected as possible. As you're shopping, you want to make sure not to make yourself a victim there. You'll see people actually, walk by and pluck a wallet right out of somebody's purse that they left in their bag or in their shopping carts, or even that they're carrying. If you're going to carry a purse, zip it up. Make sure it's closed up. Make sure it's across your shoulder so they can't just grab it and run with it. Don't carry a lot of cash. Use credit cards or checks. Try to protect yourself in that manner. Or if need be, stop by the ATM and pick up money as you go, rather than having a whole pocket full of money to start with. But watch yourself in that manner. If you're using a credit card, take the credit card and make sure when you give it to them that you get your credit card back. Now, this doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen where they'll substitute a credit card to you, and you'll get a card back, not look at it, put it in your wallet. And historically what happens is these credit cards are used in the very first few minutes. So you want to be very careful about that. If you're using any kind of an ATM or a gas pump, any of that, make sure it doesn't look suspicious. We have problems with skimmers.
That's right.
So look at it. If it doesn't look right, don't put your card in. Check inside. Tell them there's something wrong with this thing. Make sure you pick up your receipts when you sign them, your copy of that receipt.
Right.
So you want to take care of yourself in that manner. Don't overburden yourself with packages. You know, you take your packages, put them back in your car, put them in the trunk of your car.
Put them in the trunk, right.
And some people don't have that luxury, I realize, but if that's the case, don't put everything in your car. Make a couple different trips if you have to. If you can hide something underneath your seat, do that. But you can make yourself a victim. As you leave a mall or a place you're shopping, look around and see what's there. If you see suspicious people, if you should be watching yourself to make sure there's nobody following you.
Absolutely.
And people do not watch this, but open your eyes to what's around you. If you see suspicious looking people, find mall security or call the law enforcement agencies. You go outside and you see something that's not right, go back inside and get some help. Plan before you get to your car so that when you get there, you should have your key fob in your hand, and most of them have an alarm on it.
Right.
Get your car open, get your stuff in it, and get in the car and lock the car. If you see a note on your windshield, ignore it until you go somewhere else, because that's been in the past at times, employees. People get out to look at the note, and there's somebody there waiting to get in your car or to rob you.
Is it a good idea, Sheriff, I suppose if people can do it, maybe to shop with a companion?
That's always good. If you have somebody you can go with,
right.
You know, there's safety in numbers.
Right.
There's definitely, that's always a good idea. Let people know where you're going too.
And obviously just about everyone these days is carrying a cell phone, so obviously a cell phone is a good tool.
Yes, it is, and you should be ready to be able to call 911. Also, while you're driving, if you get in your car and it looks like somebody's following you,
yeah.
Call on a cell phone and get law enforcement help or drive to the police department. Don't take them home with you.
Right.
Now at home, people they want to show off the Christmas tree. They have it in the window. They want to show off all the gifts underneath the trees. And so often they come home and they find all the gifts are gone.
You know, in today's world where everyone is texting and everyone is Facebooking, and a lot of people will put, I'm going to go to the mall from 6 to 9 or that sort of thing, and let everyone know that they're not going to be home. I mean, that's a phenomenon that has occurred in the last several years.
It amazes me how people will give up so much personal information on computer, and that goes to different holiday scams you have.
Right.
How people will call and claim that there's some kind of a charity, and they'll get all the information they need to get out of you to get into your bank account.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned charities, because we read the stories in the news media. You guys, have to lock these people up. But people, really unsavory people, play on people's giving spirit during the holidays. You know, it's sad, but these people actually prey on people's willingness to give during the holiday season and scam them out of something.
Yes, they do. And you can always check with the Chamber of Commerce or in other areas to see, is this a legitimate charity?
Right.
Who are you giving to and what are you doing? Don't give cash, give a check, do something in another manner. And if you don't know who they are, don't give them your credit card information. If you're not sure who they are, don't do that. And if they call and you have a question, get a phone number and call them back and keep track of that phone number. But don't just allow yourself, because of wanting to help, to become a victim yourself.
All right, so let me ask you this. So I'm in the mall, and someone has followed me and accosted me, and then actually started to take my wallet or take my phone, or if I'm a female, take the purse and so forth. Do you advise people to try to struggle back, or just say, okay, you have it?
Well, the biggest thing you can do is noise is your best defense in that case.
Right.
You start screaming, hollering, carrying on, more than likely they're not going to want to stay with you.
Right.
I don't advocate people getting themselves hurt over a few dollars. You have to be careful about that. It's not worth ending up crippled or ending up with a broken leg over $10, $15, $20, or $100. But once again, noise is your biggest ally. It's just like if you get in a parking lot and somebody tries to get you in their car. don't get in that car.
Right.
Under no circumstances do you get in that car. Once again, noise is your best ally. Hollering, screaming, push the key fob so the horn starts blowing. At that time, I would advise fight for everything you're worth if somebody tries to get you into a car.
Sheriff, one of the other things that I want to talk to you about when we talk about holiday safety, you know, out and about on the roads, a lot of people like to go to parties and that sort of thing. You know, the problem of people having too much to drink and on the roads is a real problem throughout the year, but it's a problem particularly throughout the holiday season, I would imagine.
It is more during the holiday season. There's more parties. The amateur drunks are out there.
Right.
And I'm not taking away from your everyday drunk. We need to get them off the road, but the ones who don't drink as much and get out there and they can create a major problem. Now, there's several things. One is if you go and get a designated driver, you're going to drink.
Right.
There's severe consequences to it. And you stop and see, you know, number one is the idea of maybe hurting or killing somebody.
Yep.
You have to live with that. The second thing is what's going to happen to you, and we see it now, as it should be, where you see people that do in traffic accidents who are intoxicated, hurt or kill someone, and they serve prison time, and you're seeing more and more of this happening.
Right.
And it's the deterrent that should be there. But plan ahead, and if you're hosting the party, plan ahead for that too. If you have people that are going to be have had too much to drink, I'm not saying drink, too much to drink.
Right.
Either get them a ride home, provide for them a place to stay there, or find somebody who can drive them home. Do something. But you don't want to take and be responsible for somebody being hurt or killed any time of year.
Absolutely.
Naturally, during the holiday seasons when you're having more and more Christmas parties and people who normally don't go out are out.
Well, Sheriff, I want to thank you for sharing the information with us today. I want to wish you and the men and women of the Sheriff's Office a happy holiday season and a safe holiday season. Thanks for being with us.
Dave, it's always good, and we appreciate it. And we just ask that our people, after all of our citizens, to be careful during the holiday season. The last thing you want is tragedy or to be ripped off or something to ruin your holiday season.
Take a chill pill, right?
Yes.
With that, Amber, we'll go back to you. And again, happy holidays, everyone.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can always feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you could use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.